Slovenia's most famous athlete right there. The series turned in Game 3 when a goal by Evander Kane was challenged by LA in the third. Kings lose the challenge, give up a goal 10 seconds later. Oilers never look back. Edmonton winning 4 straight. For the first time since January. For more, we are joined by our Edmonton Bureau Chief, Ryan Rishaug, who is in the building following this Oiler victory. 10 different Oilers with at least a point in Game 6, Ryan. This is a team that was desperate for depth scoring forever, it seemed, and now it seems to have arrived, and the Oilers are in the second round.
Yeah, no, it really did, Jay, and in particular over, the last couple of games, right? So 3 points for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and they played reasonably well the last couple of games, but the story here was about other players stepping up in key moments and stressful moments and finding offense for this group. Chris Knoblauch had so much trust, just kept turning the lines over. He kept his fourth line actively engaged in this game tonight. He kept most of his defensemen playing regularly, and it showed. The Oilers had the energy, and you see contributions here from guys other than 29 and 97. Connor Brown, according to Connor McDavid, played the best game of his career as an Edmonton Oiler. Mattias Janmark in that fourth line, they were relentless at times, and Darnell Nurse comes through with a big goal as well. So this Oiler team plays its absolute best. They click the most, Jay, when they're rolling the lines over, when everybody is getting a feel for it and everybody is contributing. The energy on the bench, the energy in the room, the way they talk about themselves, you can see the confidence has grown throughout their lineup, and that's exactly what you want heading into this next round series against Vegas.
And Ryan, Calvin Pickard gets the nod in Game 3 and doesn't lose the rest of the way. 23 saves in Game number 6. I thought it was interesting what Chris Knoblauch said after Game 6. He said he never hesitated to put Pickard in, and Pickard really rewarded him, didn't he?
Yeah, well, they had confidence because they went to Pickard in the playoffs last year in the Vancouver series, and he was really good. Now, they eventually got back to Stuart Skinner, but Pickard came in and did what a backup is supposed to do. And so why would you hesitate to go to him, this season in the playoffs? He was very good down the stretch for this team, played a lot of games for them this year. And after Stuart Skinner struggled in the first couple of games, you make the switch, and Calvin Pickard is a grinder in there, right? It's not the prettiest style of goaltending, but he gets it done. And one of the things he talked about a couple of games ago was battling back when you let in a goal that you don't love. That happened to him tonight. But he battles, and he stays in it, and he stays engaged, and he made some big saves for them late. There were some stressful moments, and that's when Calvin Pickard was at his best. He stays calm when things are getting a little bit crazy in there. He's much loved in this locker room. He is heavily trusted, and I don't see a reason, Jay, why they would consider getting away from Calvin Pickard going into this next series. Remember, Stuart Skinner's the one that got them to the promised land, right? That Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final on Skinner's back. So it wouldn't stun me if they looked for the opportunity to maybe go back to Skinner as their core starter. But in the meantime, Calvin Pickard is showing them a lot.
And I know they would love to get Mattias Ekholm in the lineup. He is still injured, Ryan, as we both know. And after Game 6, he was asked, Chris Knoblauch was, the chances of getting Ekholm for round number 2. He said, very unlikely. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. How tough do you think it's going to be for the Oilers to continue on without big Ekholm in the lineup?
Yeah, he's sorely missed. There's no question. I think the news is better than what they originally thought. I think at first, the diagnosis was potentially he was done for the year, but I think they kept pushing through, got some other opinions, and I think there's some optimism that if the Oilers could get through to a third round or maybe a Stanley Cup final, that you could see big number 14 back on the blue line. But listen, they had contributions from guys. John Klingberg stepped in. We had no idea what he'd be able to give them in this series. He gave them a second pairing, Jay, with the quality of his play. And that kind of came out of nowhere because he didn't play much towards the end of the season. So between he and Wallman, Kulak was pretty strong in this series as well. The Oilers have a pretty solid unit. But Vegas is going to test them in a different way. They're going to be pushed. They're going to be hit more. They're going to be pressed. And it'll be interesting to see how those guys hold, because LA was not a heavy forechecking team. It'll feel different in the next round.
Ryan Rishaug, great work. We'll see you in the second round.